Hello everyone. I'm an Aaron and this is Feed the Beast, and yes, I have stuff in my inventory. I'm not starting from scratch. I've actually got a world and I got a couple of things in it. And well, I'd like to take you on a tour first of all. So here's where I started. Yeah, I know. First night out, dug a hole in the ground, keep myself safe from all the various mobs and you nasties that were around, and ended up being this little place here. I had, yeah, as soon as I could get obsidian, I got myself some obsidian after getting diamonds and got myself a nether portal, and in fact I think it's still here. Then in the nether portal I went over to the nearest lava sea I could find, which happened to be this one, and I built myself a pump and liquid tesseract and an energy tesseract and then a chunk loader, and that's how I powered my first base. Pumped nether lava. Yeah, I know. It's old trick. But it worked. Also how I started... Ow! God damn it. How I started powering my second base. But more to that later. So I had... on this side... Yep, thank you. I know, it's still on fire. I had right here a column of glass tanks, the standard Pilcraft tanks, and then some TE magma generators. It's about some TE machines that I upgraded to redstone energy conduit as soon as I could. I then invested heavily in diamonds out of my little quarry, my pit mine here. I started off with a nice branching mine down there, and it just goes everywhere. So I went down there and rubbed it with all the diamonds it had, which wasn't many, but it was just enough to get me a quarry, at which point I was rolling in resources and had barrels and made exo upgrades and stuff. So that was that. So I needed to expand, needed somewhere a little more permanent, needed a roof. So I built a Direwolf 20 style 9x9. Actually, it was a Direwolf 20 style 9x9 with an extension. I built it with the extension initially because I knew I was going to need the space. I also, in building it, there's the TE stuff that I was using, not so much anymore. I also built myself a basement, which has since been expanded a little. That's where the nether pump comes out, just in case I need it. It was handy for filling all these igneous extruders, and there are a lot of igneous extruders. And they all generate cobble, obviously, which gets extracted by this router and pulled into the network, into the AE network, which is then stored in this barrel here. Watch that number move around. It's fun to watch. Which then feeds into the progressive scrap gen. Yep, each one of these, you see, is progressing nice and fast. It's got 9 overclockers and 2 transformer upgrades. That's important. And it's going fast. It can actually go faster. I can put more than 9 in there, but I don't need to. And this is set to only import cobble when it's got a signal, and this is set to signal when there's less than 640 scrap. This one when there's less than 576 scrap, this one when there's less than 512 scrap, and so on and so forth. So as the mass fab eats through the scrap, it turns on more machines to keep it replenished, which is kind of cool. These are item tesseracts. They feed various machines that are out and about, like the farm that's over there, that is actually being fed with power from there. This is my power. When I started off, I was using magma generators, or sorry, geothermal generators from IC2, which then fed into the electrical engines to provide me any MJ power I needed. Don't need that so much anymore, but they're there just in case. I have a sudden massive drawer of MJ. I've got no idea what I'm going to have that will have a massive drawer of MJ, but they're there in case I do. I've then got these industrial steam engines that feed into these redstone energy cells that are all full. I have two energy tesseracts here, one called reduced power feed and one called main power feed. Reduced power feed is generally specifically for quarries, so it's actually limited to 80 MJ a tick. And this one is full-blown 100 MJ a tick, and it actually has a second redstone energy cell feeding in the same way. I did that because the feeding 100 MJ a tick into a quarry was kind of stupid. It produced way too much stuff, and the system couldn't cope, especially with all of the power being taken by the quarry. So, did that, reduced the power a bit. This is obviously a high pressure steam boiler with regular outputs. You'll notice no, they're not arrowed on these liquid ducts, so it's just outputting over half. It's running on biofuel. I've got these here coke ovens that I don't need because they're all now full of creosote oil, as is this tank. So I don't need any more creosote oil. I've got creosote oil for days. I got a pair of MFSUs here that drive. They run the electrical engines, and they run the ME controller that's up there, and they run these. Hence the two upgrades. I got a forge here for dark iron, and nicely automated. The AE system has been taught that if you feed in an iron block into this deployer, then you'll get a dark iron block, which comes out of this here block breaker, and it's all timed by this here timer. Actually, that's not a timer, that's a sequencer. You've got fermenters that are being driven on compost and sugar canes, because I can make it out of UU. It's actually set to do all kinds of stuff. Sugar canes or wheat or saplings, depending on whatever it's got. That all feeds into the stills. Did have a still here, but I ended up with a big problem. If this pipe runs out, then with a still here, it starts feeding fuel into this pipe, which then causes the entire system to break. So you see, you got lots of biofuel, lots of ethanol as it is now. These two barrels, they're sitting on, there is a storage bus behind, and then directly above is an export bus that's set to craft stone bricks and craft glass viewers, and then above that is a level emitter that says if there's less than 2048 stone bricks, emit a redstone signal. So this is always kept full of at least 2048 stone bricks, and same with that, it's always kept, actually I think it's always kept full of glass viewers. Yeah, 4096, so which is 64. Here is processing, some of it anyway. Induction furnaces, they're nice, they're not as fast as electric furnaces, but only if you can do that. If you can get enough power to them fast enough, an electric furnace is faster than an induction furnace. But only just. 12 is the maximum it'll take. It takes 2 transformer upgrades for it to handle it. There's actually 3 MFSUs there, and they provide 512 EU per tick. Have to use 3 in parallel, otherwise you don't get enough power out. And then underneath is a, oh hey, it's working. is another progressive. In this case, this is a progressive steel manufacturer. So these 4 blast furnaces, this one comes on if there's less than 1024, if I remember rightly, and this one if there's less than 768, this one if there's less than 512, and this one if there's less than 256. So the more steel you need, the faster it makes it. You also make sure that there's always an excess in the system, which is handy. This is phase 2. I've also got a very nice AE assembly chamber, and a multi-tank filled with water from Zycorium water. It says Zycorium tank. It's also got a couple of item IOs on there so that AE knows how to fill buckets, which is handy for crafting stuff. Tea machines, there's the mass fabricator. It's got 4 MFSUs feeding into it. Deliberately, I'm not going to put any more than that. I'm not having it on the main system. The 4 MFSUs act as a bit of a filter and a buffer. They obviously have internal storage. They also output 512 EU per tick. If I have the mass fabricator on the main line, however, it'll take all the power you can throw at it and keep going, which kind of starves everything else, hence why it's got its own little power feed. I used to have more machines up here, obviously, but I don't need them so much anymore because I started on the processing room downstairs. Yeah, these are also on storage buses. And then coming outside, we get into, well, there's the cow farm. Obviously, there's a really, how do they manage that? Beneath this item tesseract is a feed station, and then you've got these 4 particle emitters. So if I ever want meat, not that I need that much, or leather, I just stand on this pressure plate and activate the particle emitters, and yay, meat and leather. Rubber farm. It's only a small one. It's only got rubber sections. You use the portal gun. You go up and you hit G and to pick up just the rubber section, the rubber bearing sections from the trees, and then you put them down. And this will harvest them. It's switched off because I don't need any more rubber. I've got lots and lots. Over here we have 4 more biofuel powered engines, boilers. As you can see, they are all absolutely empty of steam. That's because up here we've got liquid ducts that are set into powered mode, which means they can pull out more than a steam boiler would normally provide, and they're being powered by levers along with these redstone jacketed wires. So they're self-supporting and they actually power the blocks below, which is very nice. And then the liquid ducts feed into 6 liquid tesseracts. The limiting factor here, and the reason I did it this way, is actually the liquid ducts. If I could get away with it, I'd just use 1. And as you can see here, I have 1 liquid tesseract into 1 Zycraft tank. There's no limit. It can keep up with the output of all of those easily. On the other side, I haven't switched this one over yet because I'm going to have the same problem. So we've got 3 rows of valves with 3 rows of output piping liquid ducts that then feeds up in a single pipe, because it can do a single pipe, into the generator house. 12 steam turbines all set up, and in case you're wondering, the cables go to the lights on the front so I can see which ones need maintenance. At the moment none of them do because I've just changed it, and they feed into MFSUs. 2 per level. Because, you know, I needed the storage space, and having the parallel power is nice. And then on top we have high voltage solar arrays, Yeah, that's more power. Feeding directly into MFSUs, because this is the Direwolf 20 pack, so it doesn't have ultimate hybrids. Not a problem though. And again, stacks more power than I'll ever actually need, but there you go. And then a Steve's Carts thing with 1, 2, 3, 4 new era on it, hence the export bus set to charcoal, because it burns through this stuff like this. No, tomorrow. But this wasn't good enough. Well, it was, but it was kind of boring. And I later found out that it's kind of crossing chunk boundaries, which makes chunk loading it interesting, to say the least. So I decided to fly away a bit from here, and I built a new base. And this one is perfectly aligned to chunk boundaries, which makes loading it dead easy. 6 spot loaders and the entire base is loaded, which is very nice indeed. Outside we have one Steve's Carts tree farm, which is in for me to see how well it works, and 4 forestry multi-farms at their largest size. Yeah, they're big, they eat a lot of resources, hence why I'm looking at the Steve's Carts farm to see if that can do the job. I don't think it can though, unfortunately. But this then feeds into this new base. Some of that stuff, especially the forestry farms, is actually being fed by the second base. This is, I guess, is the third. Got something of a Tron look going on here with the lighting grids and the. It looks nice on the minimap, and it actually lights up everything quite nicely. Yeah, F7 comes up with nothing. But in here, which is good, and you can see it's kind of crossed out there. Down here is lit with wrath lamps, which works just as well, maybe a little better. And the level below is also lit with wrath lamps, but it's got a lamp border around the edge because, you know, style. In here I have 4 high pressure steam boilers fed with charcoal being produced over here in this here electric furnace. Oh, I actually got some saplings again. So you've got charcoal there, and it's feeding out, and then as soon as it starts getting low it will generate a chunk more. At the moment from the birch, the oak has not caught up yet, and I don't think it will. Yes, I also have blaze rods, because there's a blaze rod farm just on the other side of this wall. You can see where that's going. You can probably hear the water for it too. I was going to use blaze rods, but they produce so little heat in one of these. 1.6k heat from each piece of charcoal. I was getting 0.8k heat from each blaze rod, and there was no way that it could keep up. Oh hey, that's working again. Yeah, for some reason this information board stops working randomly for no readily apparent reason. Seems whenever you go through a portal it stops working. Because I've only got 8 turbines here, it means that these boilers are outputting excess steam. There is some that's in there that's going to waste. So, hey look, some industrial steam engines directly on. It's actually a little bit more than the amount of excess steam, because, you know, these aren't on all the time because they're MFSUs and they're awesome. So they feed into these redstone energy cells that then feed into the energy tesseracts back there. They're both set up like that, and that'll get me something like 86 MJ per tick. 96, I don't know, did the math a while ago. This middle area, it's empty, there's nothing in here. In fact, there's nothing down the bottom either, really. This is where I was going to do power generation and ore processing. if I ever decide to set up another quarry or something, which is fine. And then up here I gotta get into Thorncraft because I don't have any of that yet, so I'm thinking to put a Thorncraft room in here, or Thorncraft area at least. And then up here, who knows? I have no idea what I'm going to do up here. No idea what I'm going to do anywhere, to be honest. And that's where you guys come in. I'm stuck for ideas. I've got several working bases. I have shed loads of power. I have all the resources of a new world at hand. I can do pretty much anything, I think. So, what would you like to see? And I haven't got any computer craft in there, in anywhere yet. No Thorncraft either, so far. No bees. I hate the bees with a passion. It just seems so boring. But that's, if you want me to get into bees, I'll try and get into bees. Seems a bit of a steep start too. This is the current version of the Direwolf 20 pack. Really? Hello, fertilizer? Am I out of appetite? Yeah, that's the other advantage that a Steve's Cart's farm might provide. Is not having to use appetite. And because it's the 147 version... God damn it. I hate it when that happens. Where'd the cart go? Please don't tell me I lost the cart. I think it took 2 hours. Oh, it's over there. Okay. Then let's go. Don't need you, don't need you, don't need you, don't need you. Don't need you, or you, or you. Or you, or you, or you, or you. Okay, I've got the cart. It's a modular cart with expanding chests, and that's about all there is to it. Oh yeah, that is... I got blaze rods, there we go. It's got expanding chests on the sides. I was going to use solar for it, but I can't because you can't put any solar with the expanding chests, which is annoying, and I wish somebody had told me that first. So that's running off the blaze rods. And this is also full of blaze rods, and it's full of bone meal, and anything it does receive goes in and then goes down to there, which then goes like that. You are for bone meal, because that's coming from the old base. Because that one knows how to use UU matter to make bones, and then how to use a macerator to make bone meal from bones. So, yeah. Anyway, getting back on course. Yeah, you can also see these are all even numbers, because it's set up on chunk boundaries and it's too wide. So I end up with this weird 2 gap in the middle. But yeah, so here I am, here's what I've got. I'm really stuck for ideas, so if you have any ideas, let me know, please. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much. This is an Aaron, signing off. Should I have an ending tagline type thing? I don't know. First time I've done one of these, especially with a commentary, or live, whatever you want to call it, with me talking over it. I've put up a couple of videos before, but one I used annotations for and the other one was just completely silent. So, yeah, this is me, this is my voice. My voice. Yeah, so, take care. Have fun. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.